Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for your time and joining me here. I'm really, really excited to connect with you all. And I wanted to start with a little bit of what you can expect from this call. Now, Firmaglow is in launch mode. We are in momentum, and this training is all created to help you launch your business and your brand with Firmaglow. And so, of course, we're going to teach you how to use AI and launch your business. We're going to look how we can scale and create content with AI, and we're going to work a lot faster and not harder. And it's going to be a game changer being able to start this business with all these amazing tools. You also have this workbook. I'm going to talk a lot about the workbook. So if you have it, you've already printed it out, or you have it digitally, you are ahead of the game. If you haven't, you'll find it in your email or you will find it after the fact. But of course, why should you listen to me? I'm here to support you. I am an award-winning marketer. I've been working in the marketing and global branding industry for over 15 years. I've also a direct sales expert. I worked for some really incredible direct sales companies in-house running their global marketing and branding efforts. I'm a certified AI consultant. As soon as I found out that we had access to these tools, many of them for free that we're going to talk about today, I dove right in, just like you are here, investing in yourself and staying up to date with what's happening in the future. I'm also an entrepreneur, just like you. So I understand what it's like to be a solopreneur sometimes when, you're me, myself, and I, or maybe you have a little bit of help. And even if you have a team, you have a lot to do on your own. And I'm a very passionate mentor and educator. I do a lot of volunteering in my local area for an organization called Big Brothers Big Sisters, and mentorship is truly what's on my heart. And I always like to share that because everything that I do in my teaching comes from this deep appreciation for mentors that I've had and wanting to be able to share that knowledge with all of you. So, what you'll need. Does everyone have a ChatGPT account? I'm going to check the chat. If you haven't yet, that was one of the things I was hoping you'd be able to do. If not, you can sign up for one as we're going. And there's instructions in your workbook, which is here, our prompt library. So the workbook is going to help reiterate all of the things that we're going to talk about. And it's also going to have prompts for many weeks and maybe the next couple months and year to come that you can use. You also will want to have notes. So if you're a physical person, you like to write physical notes, you have your printout. And if not, you can take digital notes. I'm a digital notes person myself, but everyone has their method. So, okay, welcome. We're officially in the training, but here's some quick rules for success. I suggest that you do this on a laptop. It's harder to do on a phone. You can do everything that we're going to do, almost everything on a phone, but I just think it's easier since we're going to be looking and copying and pasting and actually doing a live workshop. It's easier to be on a computer. Stay engaged. Please keep engaged with me in the chat. I'm here for you. So I want to make sure that no one's left behind. And make sure that you ask questions in the chat. Don't leave, stay the whole time. It's 90 minutes. I know that's a big commitment, but all of you are super early adopters and committed to this business. So make sure that you take the time to commit to yourself and stay and have fun. I promise to not make AI boring. All right. So who is ready to grow with their business with AI? Type grow in the chat if you are so ready to get going. Let's see who is ready. I see some people have some. All right, we have some chat GPT accounts. We got lots of people ready to grow. I think we're ready to glow and grow. What do you think? All right, I love that. Okay, now I need to know where you're at. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being expert, right? You're writing code with AI, you're writing your own chat bots. If you're and one being I've never used AI, I don't know what ChatGPT is. Okay, we have 0, 5, 1, 2, 7, 7, 1, 4. Okay, perfect. Every single one of you is going to get something out of this. Even if you're a 10, right? Even I go to trainings all the time myself to make sure that I'm caught up. But because even if you just get one little tweak for my friends who are 7, 8, 9, you just get one little tweak that helps you, That's time well spent. And it's great to just hear it again and maybe think differently. And for those of you who are a zero and maybe a bit a little even scared of AI, we're going to address all of that. Okay. And remember, this is going to be recorded. You're going to be able to go back to it. So stick with me. And I'm really glad to see that we have people who are just starting out and people who are using it a lot. All right, our agenda. So this is the big chunks, the different sections that we have, right? We're going to go into what is AI, a little bit about it, learn about ChatGPT. We're going to be learn about how to talk to AI, right? How to use it. And then we're going to learn how to use it for social media. And then we're going to show you some other cool, fun tools. And we actually have this broken out into lessons so that you can break it up and pace yourself as you go. So there's 9 lessons here. And we are going to get started with our intro to AI. I am going to go fast because we got 90 minutes to get through this, but we are going to just fly through. So in the chat, who knows what AI means? What is AI? Anybody? No wrong answers. You can see my little friend here. Anybody know what AI is? We hear it all the time. It's the buzzword of the moment. Artificial intelligence. Yes, yes. The robots. Yes, perfect. Okay. Yes, AI is artificial intelligence. And here's the official definition. Artificial intelligence is a field of computer science dedicated to creating systems capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. These tasks include learning, reasoning, problem solving, understanding natural language, recognizing patterns, and adapting to newer evolving situations. That's a lot to say that this is really computers doing what humans human like things, right? And the thing that I like to always point out is that it's this part where it says recognizing patterns. Because although there's some debate, for all intensive purposes, AI does not truly fully understand. We have not really reached that level yet for the most part. There are some tools that are coming out now that people are saying very close or that we have the technology. But for all intensive purposes, what AI is primarily doing is recognizing patterns and providing a result based on the most likely result to be correct. So it's not fully understanding, and you still need a human to prompt it. And the other thing is that AI is not new. AI has been around since the early 50s, right? So that it looked a little bit different at the time. It was really solving math problems and playing games, and it's massively evolved with computing power. But we've had AI for a while. AI is pretty much everywhere. It's in our phones, it's in our voice assistants, it's in our search engines, it's in social media, it's in our online shopping, it's in our smartphone cameras. So AI is not new, but the way that we're hearing about AI and the big innovation that recently came about is what we call LLMs. Does anyone happen to know what an LLM stands for? This is a good Jeopardy question. You're all going to get the answer, but I'd be surprised if someone does. The large learning model, very, very close. It's a large language model. There are some people still use LLM for learning as well. But for the most part, when we're talking about what we think of AI right now is a large language model, which is the a few things that we're going to notice, like ChatGPT. But again, it's using large amounts of data and it's recognizing patterns in data. And that's what's allowing us to respond and to get this response that seems like, oh, wow, this seems like a human wrote it, right? But it's actually just recognizing data. So this is a using natural language processing, these large language models, allowing us to communicate and problem solve with these tools. So you have to remember that they don't fully understand, and this is a key point to note. As of now, they do not fully to understand. They may in the future, but as of right now, they are really just recognizing problems, which means they're not always correct, but for the most part, they are. Now, they're writing in a conversational way. They're good for brainstorming, and it seems like they're having a natural language conversation with us. Now, here are some of the common LLMs and AI tools. Now, have any of you, I know we have some people who've tried ChatGPT. Or anybody familiar with Claude, Gemini, Copilot, Jasper, Meta AI? Have any of you played with any of these tools? Maybe a little bit? Okay, cool. A few people have started to play. Meta, yes, because we're on Meta, right? I always actually in Instagram accidentally end up starting to talk to Meta AI, even though I'm not intended to. They're really promoting it. But for the most part, today we're going to focus in on ChatGPT. Why? Well, it was the first innovator on the scene that became really popular. It's free to use. And it's relatively considered safe and for data, and there's it integrates with a lot of other tools, and it's just my favorite. I like Claude. I use all these other tools as well, but I think ChatGPT is a great starter LLM to learn on. Now, I did have to acknowledge a new LLM that's on the scene that's gotten a lot of attention, which is called DeepSeek. This is an AI that's actually not created in the United States, is created in China. There's potentially some legislation around not using this tool. I did want to recognize it though, because it's the new thing on the scene. It does the same thing more or less as ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is still considered really best in class. And you can debate that whether DeepSeek is as good or is not as good as ChatGPT. But for all intents and purposes, ChatGPT is a great place to start. Okay, you made it already through your first lesson. Right, now we're ready. How to use AI. So, AI is great for a lot of things. What do you think AI is great for? I'm curious how you're using AI today. What are some of the things you're using it for? Anybody? I have some people who are using it a lot. So, all right. AI is great for writing content, recipes, image creation, code checks, search engine. Awesome. AI is really great for generating ideas. I love you are all using AI so well already, editing a book, travel itinerary. AI is also great for creating drafts. AI is great for editing what you have written, right? We see someone's even writing a book already, but AI will not do everything, right? AI will not be perfect every time. Any of you have tried it? We know we have some people who've never tried it before. Um, don't expect it to be perfect. And even those of us who use it every day, it's not perfect. It's going to get us most of the way there, but you've got to iterate. You've got to try, just like you would with any human, right? You got to give it another chance. It will not require no effort or no skill, right? You have to know how the technology works. You have to learn and invest the time in learning. And of course, we have to address my robot elephant in the room that AI will not replace all humans or animals, even though, contrary to popular belief, it will replace certain aspects, but it's most important to learn to work AI with AI, right? So a few of you who might be thinking, you know what? All this AI stuff, like Melissa's saying in the chat, this is all new to me. Maybe this is a little scary. And I'll tell you that even at the beginning, it was for me. But here's the thing, being afraid of AI or being afraid of the technology doesn't get us anywhere, right? AI will replace some job skills. And the way that the world is going to change and continue to change is lightning speed. So we have to adapt and take the time to invest in the technology. And what I like to think about is AI is not going to just replace all humans, right? AI is probably going to replace somebody who doesn't know how to use AI. So the more that you can invest your time, that's the reality of the situation, but it's also an empowering way to think of things, right? We can sit here and we can be pessimistic about how things could change the world for the worse, or we can say, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to leverage this, and I'm going to use this to help me grow my business. And that's what all of you are doing here today. So we have two choices: stay scared, or we can use AI to our benefit, jump on board, and skyrocket our success and our skills. Okay. So all of you are already on your way, right? So we are already into the next step, which is around prompting. Does anybody know what the word prompting means? We've heard this. Prompting. It's not a trick question. Prompting is guiding it. Yes, guiding it in ideas in the chat. Good answers. Prompting is how you communicate with the AI tools, right? It's the specific ask that you put in, the questions or the communication going back and forth, and the detailed instructions will get you the best results, right? So there's one thing I need you to learn about prompting. If you walk away with one thing about prompting, this is what I want you to know. There is a right and a wrong way to a certain extent with prompting. And what it is the age-old tale of quality in, quality out, or garbage in, garbage out. So the better that we provide background information, context, and clear direction, the better answers we're going to get out of ChatGPT or any LLM that we're working with, right? Just like anything in life, talking to a human, it's the same way. So we're going to start in with basic prompting. Now, this is how most people currently work with AI, right? You're going to ask really direct questions, right? Like, give me 5 social media post ideas to promote my Firmaglow business. That's a direct question, right? Maybe simple requests, write a caption or simple instructions, create a list of hashtags or create my recipes for my dinner or all of the other amazing ideas that you guys have shared in the chat. This is basic prompting. And this is all really good. This is all, it's in full sentences. It's going to work. It's going to work really well, right? And if this is where you're at, if this is all new to you and this is where you're going to start, this is a great place to start because the way you're going to learn is to use it. So if you're going to start here and start getting excited, and we're going to show you some basic prompts here of what will come out, this is a great place to be. But you know what? The most important thing is that you start to learn how to have conversations with AI. So you can even voice text. You can do this in so many different ways. I just really want you to get used to using this on an ongoing basis. All right. So you can chat with AI like it's your assistant and have ongoing conversations. So, how many of you are you ready to get into ChatGPT? Who's ready? You ready? Yes. Dawn's ready. Anybody else ready in the chat? Rob's ready. Let's go. Okay. So, the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to give you a quick spin around ChatGPT. So, we are going to go into ChatGPT. Now, I've created a ChatGPT that's a free account, right? So there's a paid account and let's go, Adam says. There's a paid account and there's a free account. So for those of us who are on the free account, this is a free account that has no memory. I've erased its entire memory because I don't want it to give me different answers than it will give you. Now, it will still likely give you different answers. Why? Because the more that you work with ChatGPT, it actually has an automated memory where it will remember things. So when I ask it things, it's going to be at the base level for anybody who's never ever opened ChatGPT. And I encourage you to follow along. So here's a lot of features that ChatGPT has. So here is where we have our conversations, right? If you want to start a new chat, you can go up here and you just write new chat. It's the same similar icon on the iPhone app. And once you get here, this is where you can actually just type your prompt. There's also additional abilities that you can use that some are paid, but they actually even give you some free uses, which is really awesome. You can upload files. So you could upload your own brand guide. You could upload a catalog. You could upload pictures of text messages. If you don't know how to respond to somebody, you can upload screenshots. You can upload anything you could kind of think of. This is the paid feature, but you'll get a few free uses. You also have this search the web. Now, a lot of people ask questions about this because ChatGPT already does have a very wide, vast knowledge base. And the search the web feature is really to get the most up-to-date information because the information that ChatGPT has in its regular knowledge base isn't up to date by the minute. So if you want, who won the Super Bowl, and it was in the middle of the Super Bowl or up to the moment, sports stats and things like that with very recent information, you can use that search feature. Also really great for research. Okay. And then there's other things that ChatGPT can actually help us create images. It can analyze data, and it's already giving us all these different tools that it can actually all do within this app. Now, now here is something that's really interesting. So here is the advanced voice mode. So this you can actually have a full conversation with ChatGPT. You don't even have to type anything. It's pretty amazing. So what we're going to do though to start is I'm actually going to go back and we're going to start. Oh, I hear someone turn their mic on by accident. We're going to start with some of these basic prompts. So I have my prompt cheat sheet here. So I want to go ahead and I'll just show you what a simple prompt would be like. See, it says, write 5 social media post ideas to promote my personal care business, right? It knows nothing else. So let's see. So we're just going to hit enter for my friends who've never seen this before. It's pretty cool. And we're actually right now probably working with 4.0. There's different models that ChatGPT has. All of the models that are available are great for 90% of what you would be doing. If you're going to be writing advanced code, if you're going to be doing advanced reasoning and really advanced things with ChatGPT, that's when you may want to put the investment into the paid version. So it's working a little bit slower than usual today, but look, it's already giving us some really cool ideas, before and after transformations, customer testimonials and reviews. And so, here's the thing. It's giving us some pretty cool idea, but the thing is here that it doesn't have a lot of background around it, right? So behind the scenes content, we would have behind the scenes content because we're still in pre-launch, right? But before and after transformations, we wouldn't have that yet. But ChatGPT doesn't really know anything about our service or about the business, so it's only capable of providing general examples. It's working incredibly slow today. That's okay. It's normally lightning fast, I promise. Okay. So you can see this is pretty cool for those of us who haven't ever worked with this before. And now here, let's try another one. We can always stop it if we want. That was over here. And if you want, you see how it says new chat over here? This is one of my favorite little things to do. You can actually rename it. This is really, really nice because I promise once you start to work with it a lot, and this is so funny that a lot of my friends don't know that you can do this, is that you can go over here and you can just rename your chat to say, this one I'm not even going to call Firmaglow because we haven't, but I can just double click it and then I'm going to just call it 5 social media ideas. Yeah. Now, why did I do that? Because I'm going to want to go back and you're going to have so many chats over here. You're going to say, what was this chat again? So now let's try a different one. Write a caption and a post explaining the benefits of joining Firmaglow as an early adopter. I'm really curious what it's going to come up with here. So here, it says join Firmaglow because it can help shape your future of sustainable farming, right? You're saying, ChatGPT, what is this silliness, right? Well, that's because it doesn't know what Firmaglow is, right? So we're learning, okay, this is cool. I can see how this could be beneficial, but we need to make sure that we're giving better information to get better outputs. And I'm going to teach you all about that. But pretty amazing already that look, it already knew some of the correct hashtags to put, but not certainly didn't have enough context, right? All right. So
Kathleen,
now,
I have a quick question for you.
yes.
Okay, so I'm looking at our Chat GPT account, and Naomi usually handles all of this because she has already done about 45 days worth of stuff in Chat GPT. When people ask about Firmaglow, will it take that information that we've already created to create this other stuff for other people?
No, so the way that not no, it won't, it will for you. So right, so if you take this prompt and you put it into your chat GPT, it will have its own memory specific to you as a user. Now,
Got
over
it.
time, whether they use user input to train its algorithm is some yes and no. It's probably not going to fully change what everybody else's output is. If we see if ChatGPT starts to see a major resurgence of a specific topic or something like that over time, it's probably going to start training its model based on inputs. But right now, the way that it works is it, especially for the search feature too, is it's actually ranking based on Bing and trusted media sources. So for companies wanting to have the potential of ranking on ChatGPT and search results or being included in its knowledge base, it's going to take a little bit more of a traditional SEO, for lack of a better term. It's going to take a little bit more of a traditional search ranking approach to be included in ChatGPT's knowledge base. Now, they do refreshes of the knowledge bases ongoing. So, but it's not in real time like our search feature is. So, if a company was to rank on Bing and be included in a lot of press that ChatGPT sees as high value, that's how it will likely be able to be accessible to everyone. If you ask them, what's the coolest fermented personal care product company? Over time, it should be able to be produced at Firmaglow as one of the results if it's gotten enough publicity and enough placement on the web for it to be included in ChatGPT's results.
Okay, so why are they using Bing and they're not using like Google or Yahoo?
Because of the relationships of OpenAI. So that was
Gotcha.
the partnership. Yeah. So there's a whole list. The Associated Presses, there's, I think it's Hearst magazines, Condé Nast. There's a huge amount of partnerships that ChatGPT forged with with media as trusted news source and with Bing as how they're ranking specifically the search feature. But it also does go into how they collect their data that they're going to train their algorithm on in their knowledge base that's accessible to everyone. They try to be they try to be neutral. You can kind of poke at it to see like what its limits are, but that's how a company would be able to rank and to be able to come up in results over time. Now, it brings up a good point because if Tony puts this into her ChatGPT, and those of you who have been using it, you're going to get a different answer, which is why I like to train this entire lesson on a memory-free ChatGPT because I want those who've never tried this to get probably a similar result to mine. So I would love to keep questions to the end if we could.
Sure.
But yes, awesome. Okay, now let's go back into everyone good with the chat. I wanted to show a few more things on ChatGPT. So the first thing is you can actually redo your search. Here is where you can change all of the models, right? So you have ChatGPT 4 and you have O3, it's not even O1 anymore, O3 mini. And you can change the models. These models, some of them are only available to premium users. But one of my favorite things to do is like, let's say we like this part of this, right? Just this. We can actually highlight it and then we can hit quote and then we can say, I like this, but this is a personal care brand. Okay. So we're going to see if it's going to see it says memory updated, which is what I wanted to show it to you. So see, it's already saying Firmaglow is a personal care brand. So now it's going to change the response based on that. So this is a nice little feature. Instead of having to copy and paste, you can select sections and just hit the quote feature. And at that point, that's where you can then edit and iterate from there. Okay. All right. Just to keep us on time, we are going to go back to some of our basic prompting. We have our 5 questions that we went through, our 5 social media posts, our hashtags. You can see you could ask it for the hashtags too. Many of you have done that. So now I want to get into our workbooks. So all of you should have received a prompt library book. Now, this is a 25-page workbook that's created exclusively for you. I'm not going to show the PDF. You have the PDF version. But what this is it allows me to reiterate everything that we've done in our lessons, right? But it also has a library of things that you can go back and you can view. So it's kind of created like a Mad Lib. Does anybody remember Mad Libs from being in the car, maybe with your siblings, or trying to keep busy kids? So the prompt workbook is created like a Mad Lib. So the way that it works is it's actually prompts that you can fill in, and it's trying to create it so that no matter where you are in your journey, I'm going to teach you how to prompt, but I also wanted you to have some really, really high quality prompts that you can go in and you can fill in. So you have these things called context and background prompts. Now, this is going to help us eliminate that problem where Firmaglow, they thought that Firmaglow was a farming company, right? So we have a whole prompt that tells us about the Firmaglow brand. There's a prompt that's about my brand, which is all of your brands, which is one of my favorite prompts in the entire workbook. I'm going to show you that in a second. And so you can go through and we're going to be able to update these and you're going to be able to utilize these prompts throughout your journey as you launch your business. So the first thing in marketing, what do? We create a target audience, right? And every single person on this call, you may have a different, subsection or a little bit different in an audience because you may have different experiences, you may have different expertise, you may resonate with different people, right? So we're going to create a target audience. You have your brand voice, right? Again, Brenda's voice is going to be totally different than Tessa's voice, is going to be totally different than Allie's voice, right? Because maybe you guys are in different parts of the country, the world, and maybe you speak a little differently, right? Everybody has their own tone of voice and how they their own personal brand. So there's a prompt to help you create that. And then there's a series of social media prompts which are really, really powerful. And they're all different ways that you can utilize and get your minds going of how you can utilize AI. And one of my favorites is the viral hook generator. This is a brainstorm hooks on social media. So to brainstorm ideas of how you could talk on social media, how you could create a video on social media, how you could write a great caption, of using the secret sauce of copywriting with some really great examples. So I can show you some of those. So here is an example of my favorite prompt. So if you saw what we did before, which was this tiny baby prompt of write me some cool ideas for social media, this is like, an epic prompt, right? This is a lot of prompts, a lot of context and a lot of detail in a prompt. And there's a secret sauce to this, right? You're saying, wait, how do we go from, these simple prompts like this, what one sentence to something like this? Well, there's a whole methodology behind this, which is really what I'm going to be sharing with you next. And that is all in our advanced prompting module. But I really wanted to click through a few things here so you can see how your workbook works. So anything that's highlighted in yellow and bracketed areas are places where you could fill in the blanks. And anything highlighted in red is a special note that I'm trying to call something out to you, right? So you're going to see, we're actually going to be going into some examples, but if we click through to my library, to the pages, you're going to see here's about Firmaglow. So this is approved information that we have about Firmaglow, right? So that you can tell ChatGPT, hey, don't make up stuff. I need you to use correct information. So this is a context prompt. So this, you wouldn't actually be asking ChatGPT anything necessarily. You could provide this at the beginning of a chat, and it will make sure that the information that ChatGPT, for the most part, is providing is great. Now, here's our brand prompt, right? So here you would go in and you copy it, or you could type it out yourself from the PDF, and you would input all of this information, right? My name is Brenda. I'm calling in from Illinois. I'm based in Illinois. The location of my primary audience is in the Midwest, right? Or wherever you're specifically targeting. Now, this is going to be great because everybody here who's an early adopter this is going to be cool to create different target markets in the future, which is also in here. for different countries and different locations that we go into in the future, right? So when what company launches in another country, you can actually go in and create a target audience just for that country, right? You can even do some research about the people who live there and learn a little bit more about them using ChatGPT. So all of these are like MBA level prompts, right? These are like really, really, really powerful prompts that we would teach in when you're learning about marketing and business. So you actually have these at your disposal to go in and fill in, right? But that's not I can give you cool prompts, right? Cool prompts are awesome. You're going to be able to take these and you're going to be able to plop them into ChatGPT whenever you're ready and you're going to go through and I hope you're going to change them up a little bit as you learn. But I think what's a lot more valuable is to actually teach you how to create these prompts, right? You can teach someone to fish or you can just give them a fish, right? I'd rather teach you to fish. So we're going to get into my advanced prompting method. So there's something called being a prompt engineer, right? And you probably didn't think that you were going to be able to become a prompt engineer on this call. You're some of us are thinking, I'm just starting out with the AI. How am I going to become a prompt engineer, right? But like, what is it hard? It's not hard, like Elle Woods would say. You can all become prompt engineers. I'm going to teach you how to think about creating better prompts, right? Because that's the whole idea around being a prompt engineer is how you can communicate with the technology. So in three, two, one, here we go. This is how you're going to create better prompts. And this is the focus method, which is quality in, quality out. That's why we created the entire focus method so that you can actually create better prompts. And this is how I remember it is by saying focus, right? So the first is focus on a role. We're going to outline the goal. C is for context. U is for use examples, and S is for two parts. Number one, set boundaries, and number two, step by step. So, what do all these things mean, right? So, focus on a role is when we're going to tell ChatGPT or any LLM that we're working with to act as. We're going to assign them who they are because ChatGPT has such a vast knowledge base and it can usually kind of figure out what you want if you ask it for a specific thing. But as you create more complex prompts, or if you're looking for something really specific, it is nice to just get that out of the way, tell them exactly what you want them to know. The second thing around outlining a goal, this usually starts with help me or create or the goal is. So this is going to help us make sure that we're really structuring the output that we want out of ChatGPT, right? Because if we give them a loosey-goosey or very vague request, they're going to give us kind of a loosey-goosey or vague answer. And this is where I think a lot of mistakes happen too, because if you're not really clear with all of these things to start out with, at least, then you're going to get not the best results. Now, context is key, right? Just like anything in life. We already saw that ChatGPT started making stuff up. It started deciding that Fermaglow was a farming business, right? Well, that's because we didn't give it good background. So context is so key. And this is where we're going to give our background info. And we're also going to provide examples. So if we all know, especially those of us who work in social media and had our businesses for a while, there is such a good thing as a good social media post and a bad social media post, right? And if we just let ChatGPT decide and we don't provide any examples of what we think a great post is, we could even show our top performing post. We could provide things that we had our own data we know worked really well, or we could model it, or we could borrow it from some inspiration from somebody else. We need to provide that example of what a good response is, right? Like, what is the outcome that we're trying to provide? And then S for set boundaries and step by step. Now, the first is set boundaries, is minimum and maximum. So ChatGPT will give you a lot of googly gaga. It will just give you a bunch of stuff because it's just trying to please. It's just trying to get you the best answer. And sometimes it will give you way too much information, or sometimes it won't give you enough information at all. So we're going to go through each of these and I'll explain how you can actually do this. But the other piece is the step by step, which this is where we're going to give ChatGPT like a master prompt, a giant prompt, because we're starting a new chat, we're starting a new, an entirely new task with when we're doing these types of prompts, is we want ChatGPT to take things step by step because that's how we work. But the idea of putting together a focus prompt is that it allows us to put together our idea before we go and just ask for stuff and we're not going to get a good result. So this actually helps us structure what we're trying to do. So the first, focus on a role, right? This is act as. So here's a few ways that we could say act as a network marketing expert, right? Act as a direct sales expert, act as a social media manager. These are for two different types of posts. Now, usually I do like to tell ChatGPT that I'm either working on a direct sales brand or network marketing brand or social selling, something of the sorts. It doesn't know about new generational marketing yet, but we will teach it, right? So why do I do this? Because network marketing and direct sales in our industry and our model, and Firmaglow is really revolutionizing that, is unique, right? So sometimes how you talk about a business opportunity would be slightly different than you might sell something that you're going to sell on Amazon, right? There's a lot more layers. People can join in, people can do different things. It's a completely different way of selling. So we do like to give that key in that context. The other thing is a social media manager. Now, if you start to ask ChatGPT for social media things, it's going to start to do that. But you can also specify at what level. Sometimes you want ChatGPT to act as a strategist. Sometimes you want it to act as a copywriter. Sometimes you want it to act as a designer. So these are things that are good to learn now, especially as the technology evolves, so that you can get better output. Okay, now outlining the goal. So what's an example here? Help me create a 30-day social media plan to promote the Firmaglow business opportunity and encourage signups. Give me 30 days worth of ideas I can share on social media to promote this challenge. This is very specific, right? Now, this is a good idea, right? I had that idea, but I'm going to get way better results from this, right? Especially if I'm going to give them the next thing, which is that context, right? So the background info. So the background info would be I'm a Firmago business partner. Again, what does that mean? ChatGPT doesn't know what that means, which means I independently sell and promote Firmaglow, a new digital beauty and network marketing company selling naturally based fermented hair care products. My target audience includes individuals looking for a side hustle or full-time business opportunity, specifically those interested in beauty, personal branding, and digital marketing. I want to highlight how Firmaglow provides automatic lead generation, digital marketing tools, and innovation in fermented beauty products, right? That sets us apart from traditional network marketing companies. Now, again, I'm using that word network marketing here just because I need ChatGPT to understand me now. We know that that's not necessarily what this company is, but it's just that the ChatGPT can understand, right? This is really different than just make me some social media posts, right? Really, really different. You think we're going to get some different results with this? I don't know. I think so. Okay. Now, this is being very, very specific, right? The key is to be specific. You don't even have to write in full sentences if you don't want to. ChatGPT will figure it out. I'm just doing this because this is how we would talk or prepare or talk to an assistant or explain to somebody. So I try to think about it how we think about it. And then you can always kind of shortcut later. But I like you to get the idea of what to do with the long way before you do the short way, right? So now here's some examples, right? Use examples. Now, here, if I already have ideas, right, especially of what I want the output to be, this is great for like captions. I love to use this for captions because even for my LinkedIn, right? I have a specific way I know what performs on my LinkedIn, right? I have a specific method of exactly how I do things. ChatGPT, if I ask ChatGPT for something for LinkedIn, it's going to give me something okay, but then I'm going to go back and forth a million times with it. If I just give it the examples of my top three performing posts on LinkedIn, exactly how they're written, and I point out what's great about it. I like the format. I like that it's not full sentences. I like that I did this and that. This is why it performed. And I give those examples, I'm going to get a better result, right? So in this case, we were trying to get ideas. So I had a few ideas that I knew I would want. So these are some examples of my ideas I already have, right? I want to post explaining what Formaglow is, why it's different. Then 15 days in, we're going to do behind the scenes, right? This is behind the scenes. We're learning already. and why, this is the best times to be, why it's the best time. And then number 30 would be like a recap of the journey so far. Maybe you already had some people sign up. Maybe you're really excited about something. So these were some examples, but the examples are really, really great for captions. And then step by step, right? And set boundaries, S. So a simple example of setting parameters or setting boundaries would be provide me the idea in 2 sentences or less, right? Because again, ChatGPT is going to give you so much information back that sometimes you just say, hey, wait, this is for an X post. This is for the platform formerly known as Twitter posts. It needs to be 200 characters or less. Or I'm writing an email. I want it to be 500 words or less, or whatever it is. This allowing us to set boundaries allows us a different level of control. And it helps us not get frustrated when ChatGPT doesn't read our mind on what we're doing, right? So providing parameters, that's the simple version. And then there's step by step. Now I have a simple version of step by step and an advanced version of step by step. So simple version would be step 1 to come up with 10 ideas for my Instagram account. Step 2, write filming direction for each idea. Step 3, create Instagram caption for each of the approved ideas, right? So why am I doing this, right? Well, if it goes and it starts to write if it does, it will try to do the whole thing all at once, right? So if it already goes and does all the filming direction and all the captions for all these 10 ideas, and I only like two, or I need to change something because it got confused and thought it was a farming company, or something was just totally off, then I just have to go. I have all this information that I don't need. So I like to take things step by step. And you don't the program it's the platforms themselves will take things step by step by nature. But again, if we want to exercise that element of control, which we do because we want better outputs, is we are going to break it down into step by step the way that we want to see it. So here's another a little bit more advanced version of this. It's just a better description where it says create a 30-day social media plan for launching my Firmaglow business and recruiting during pre-launch. Give me a detailed breakdown of how to structure each post for maximum engagement, include call to action to join, tips, or advice related to network marketing. Again, just the term that ChatGPT is going to know for now, and gently promoting Firmaglow testimonial content ideas, right? Then, number 3, create captions, including suggested hashtags that are specific to each post and my target audience, because I've told them my target audience. And number 4, come up with ideas on how I can reuse this content for the following month and provide me 10 new post ideas leveraging that same content. Number 4 on its own already, if you take number 4 with like one of your top performing social media posts of you talking about your Firmaglow business, or anything that once the products are live, starting to talk about the products, and you had this one post that does really well, and you're like, wow, I got a lot of new recruits from this post, or I sold a lot of product from this post. I know from my insights, this post really, really worked. What you can do is take that post and you can take number 4 and just say, come up with more ideas, right? It's called content splittering. That's in your workbook. By the way, all of this is in your workbook, right? So if some of you are a little lost, don't worry. All of this, the focus method, exactly what it is, how to use all of this is all in your workbook, including this massive example prompt that I'm going to show you. Now, step by step, there's one more thing I need to tell you about that. And that is ChatGPT and most of these platforms, they want to please. So they're going to automatically try to do things, all of the steps all at once. So you have to write this at the end of your chats. Otherwise, it will just do them all, right? Which is take each step one at a time and move on only once I have approved the first step, and I will write next. Why are we doing this again? Because we don't want them to go to step 7 and rewrite and write captions and have this and use up all of our tokens, which is, the amount of, amount of basically more or less words, but the amount of coins that we have, tokens that we have for free on our free accounts or even our pay accounts. We don't want to use tokens on things and our mind time either on things that we didn't approve or didn't want. So this allows us to exercise a certain level of control. Okay. So you have to write this. This is in your workbook. Okay. So anytime you're doing a step-by-step prompt, you have to tell them to not move on until tell ChatGPT, do not move on until I've approved the first step. And you will find very, very often that you will want to make changes on the first step. And so that every time you do that, you're going to be grateful that you had this little trick. Okay. Now, how many of you feel like this? Are you like, whoa, this is really cool? Excited. I hadn't thought about ChatGPT like this. This is yes. Okay. Yay. I'm excited. All right. How many of you feel like this? Anybody feel like this? This cat right here. Information overload. What is she talking about? She lost me. Okay, a little overload. Okay, perfect. That's okay. You're all still in the right place. Okay. So all you need to know if you are totally overwhelmed, just go back to the basics. Just like we always say in business, right? You go back to the basics. And that's our basic prompting, right? And these are the things will get you started. And you'll start to say, you know what? I'm not getting the best results. So what you can do then is you can say, okay, maybe I'm going to try one aspect of my focus method, right? If you just focus on O and you outline your goal a little bit more, or you do O and C, you're going to get like way better results, like amazing, much, much, much better results. So even if you take just a few of these examples, you're going to get better results. Okay. So anytime you're not getting a good result, you can say, okay, wait, what in my focus method could I add to make my prompt a little bit better? What context is it missing? Why does it keep doing this silly thing that I keep telling it to do? Sometimes it still makes mistakes. Okay. So stick with me. You guys all have this in your workbook, and it's intended that you use the workbook ongoing and that you learn how to get better results on your own. Okay. But I do have some bonus tips for you, okay? So here are my bonus tips on how to get better results. All right. Number one is ask for variations. Okay. So request multiple options to choose from. I do this all the time when I'm working on hooks, right? If you haven't heard of this concept around hooks, hooks is really that first thing that's going to hook the user in on social media or get someone's attention with their subject line or the first sentence that they have in the email. It's the thing that gets us to come in and to listen up, right? That's the hook. I will ask ChatGPT to write me 10 to 25 hooks on something. I'll even give it a good hook, and you can use the viral hook generator, which is amazing. You can use that hook generator and then ask for 15 ideas, right? And a lot of your prompts in your workbook already have this ask for variations. But again, if you're doing this on your own, just ask for multiple options to choose from. And then you'll find that you'll get much better things to choose from. The next is iterate and refine, right? Remember, ChatGPT is not going to be perfect. It's going to make mistakes. We have to catch those mistakes. So ask it to revise it. Some people say you have to be really nice to ChatGPT. I don't really, I like to be as direct as possible. I like to make sure there's no wiggle room or ways that ChatGPT could be confused. I'll say that I speak much differently to humans than I do to ChatGPT, okay? So you don't have to be perfectly nice to ChatGPT, but some people like to be. It's up to you. I just like to be clear. So the next thing is ask AI to critique itself. This is a fun one. So I like to ask AI to provide an explanation of why it did something and critique it and then apply the critique. Because sometimes if you say like, "Oh, this stinks, write it again," you know, you don't know what ChatGPT is thinking you think stinks. So this way, if you're not getting the results or you just want to see what ChatGPT would do to improve itself, you can do this. Now, some of those advanced models that we have access to in ChatGPT, they actually automatically critique themselves. Very cool for another session when we talk about advanced AI. But this is a way for you to automatically to just ask it to do it so that you can get that result too. Now, there's one more. One more very important tip on working with AI. This is one of my favorite girls here. Okay, avoid overused ChatGPT words. All right, now how many of us, tell me in the chat, yes, if you think you can tell when someone's using ChatGPT. If you're just like, oh, I know you did not write that. I know you did not write that. Right? Yes. Okay. Absolutely. Sometimes. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Using your brand voice and telling ChatGPT, giving them examples of how you write will give you a better chance of not sounding just like ChatGPT gargly goo, you know? But there are some words that are a dead giveaway. Does anybody know what some of those words are? Like, I think we all kind of have certain words that we get like irk, the ChatGPT irk from. Anybody have any that they see and they're like, oh, you did not use the word plethora. You do not speak like that. I mean, I speak like that, but you know that person who does not use the big words. No one's using SAT words all the time, right? Okay, so my least favorite ChatGPT word is delve, and it's because it ruined it for me because everybody's delving into everything. I'm like, you didn't delve into that, okay? It's there's just some words that have just become a little overused. Now, the thing is, there is a perfect time to use the word delve. There's a perfect word time to use the word unleash, unlock, game changing. See, you know, some of these words are just my own personal because I work in marketing. I see them a lot. It's just they're overused for me. Now, you may have words that irk you that you don't want to use that are not your brand voice, right? So always tell ChatGPT not to use that. Or you can create your own prompt that says, I don't like these words, don't use them, right? Another thing that's really big is the use of what's called an M dash, which is the dash between two words. And some people are saying, "Oh, I can tell you used, I can tell you used ChatGPT for that." You know, it is a proper use of punctuation in the English language, so there's nothing wrong with it. But there are certain things like if something's too flowery or doesn't sound like you wrote it, just give them some examples. And just sometimes I even say like, don't be so flowery. Write it like you were writing a text message to your friend. So just give the direction if you're not getting the results. And if you'd like some to remove some of these words from ChatGPT, just tell them. All right. Now the time has come. You're all ready, my friends. I'm going to go into the advanced ChatGPT workshop. Okay. So this is where I have here, I'm going to show you what it looks like if we use one of these master prompts, right? One of these big, big prompts. We have two of them that I'm going to show you. And remember, everything's in your workbook. It's here for you. The whole focus method is here before our prompt library. It goes into the examples here. Here's your focus. Here it is. And then here's exactly the example. Okay, so let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens. Here's the full prompt. Okay, I removed out the focus and the everything, but it even has the take each step by step. Okay, let's see. Let's see if ChatGPT is going to listen. Another thing is you can close the sidebar. I like to do that. ChatGPT is a little slow today. Wish I could fast forward it. It could be my internet. So, but again, let's go through it. So, number one, focus on a role, act as a network marketing expert and a digital business strategist. Okay. Number two is the outline the goal, right? So, we're going to give it some context and we're going to give it the goal of what we're trying to look for. Number three is going to be the examples, which is the U for use examples, and then S for step by step and set boundaries and parameters. But remember, we have to say take each step one by one. So look, we already see it already told us it updated its memory, right? So now, and even if I start another chat, the memory is going to know that whoever's talking on the other side of this is a Firma business partner. So that's why if you are following along and you're actually posting these into your chat GPT, you're going to get slightly different answers because it should know more about you already. Okay, now here it is. 30-day social media plan for promoting Firma and business Recruiting business partners, right? Okay, so here we are, week one, introduction and curiosity. I always have fun seeing what they come up with. Day one, what is Firmaglow, right? Okay, then it has introduced Firmaglow as a revolutionary beauty brand and unique business model. Yes. Number two, the digital revolution in beauty and business. Perfect. See, here's some really good ideas, okay? So look, and now it's funny. It actually even has given us a CTA that would use some other automation tools that I'm sure we're going to learn about, which is called a tool called ManyChat, which allows you to actually send links and such through Instagram. It's allows you to DM people and auto comment. So ChatGPT isn't going to do that, but it's interesting that right now it even knows a good CTA would give you this prompt to say, DM me automate. Why fermented hair care? This is cool. Drop a little shampoo bottle emoji. So, let's say like I don't really like this. We could say, this isn't really something I would do. I think people would take like 10 minutes to even find that emoji. So we could just we could use the reply feature, which is the quote, and we could say, I just don't like this. Right. So, okay, here's 7 days for the first day. It goes week by week. This is so much content, so much ideas, right? So I would stop, I would go through week by week. I could even say, I want this 1 week at a time. Yeah. Because I'm going to say, this is too much information for me. So now it's just going to give me, got it, here. It's going to say just 1 week. Okay. So then I could go and I could iterate and I could decide, um, okay, it's actually gone on to the next answer, hasn't it? It probably has. Yep, deep down, detailed. Okay, so it's actually gone on to the next one. Sometimes it does that. That's okay. But look, now it's saying all of the different ways that we could actually structure these posts. And it's gone into exactly different details here. It's given us a hook, it's given us body, it's given us call to action, it's giving us suggested hashtags, right? So now we could go in and we could iterate on all of this, right? We could say, we could tell ChatGPT, I want all of the hashtags to always have Firmaglow. I want them always to have um, Brenda's Beauties, or whatever, the Glow Squad or the Glow Getters or whatever your team's going to be called. We can train ChatGPT to know all those things about us in this chat. It does a really good job of keeping memory, like detailed memory in the chat. And then it will carry over certain aspects of memory into other chats, right? So this is really good. It's already given me 7 days, right? So now it's saying step two, structuring each post with maximum engagement. I'm going to say go to step three. Let's see. Okay. And so far, because if I would have not given this instruction, it probably would have given us everything. And you would have again used all those tokens, right? Which is you right now we're getting to use 4.0, which is the advanced model, and it will use up all of our tokens, and then we might run out of space. So has anybody gotten to the time where they've used ChatGPT so much that they have gotten like you've run out of tokens. You can't use this until 10 p.m. tonight. Has anybody gotten that before? If you haven't already upgraded? Yes. Okay. So if you've already upgraded, then and you're still running out of tokens, then you're doing some really advanced stuff. If you're finding that you're running out of tokens a lot, that means that you're using ChatGPT a lot, which is great. You might want to refine your focus of how, again, maybe you're want to set smaller boundaries so ChatGPT doesn't use as many tokens because maybe it's giving you too much output that you're not using. Or it might be time to upgrade to your account. But for the most part, most people don't run out of tokens that often unless you're really using it a lot. Um, and also, you can always have another account if you're really trying to. You could use another tool if you don't want to make the investment in it. And it's really not needed, I think, for most people, especially if you're, working once a week with it, a couple times a week with it. You shouldn't be running out of tokens that often. But there are ways around it as well. So here we go. Let's take a look at our answers here. Why fermented hair care? Caption. Okay, so again, let's say like I'm gonna say I like number two. day two and day three, but I don't like any of the emojis. And, let's see, is there anything 100% digital business, automated tools, no inventory, no chasing people? How do they know? So let's say I like this stuff, but I just want to get those two back with no emojis, okay? Right? So you can just do these. So you're saying, okay, we did this giant mega prompt. We spent so much time on this prompt, right? But look, now we're just having a conversation. So you don't have to do a focus prompt every single time, right? Because that's a lot of work. So you don't have to do a focus prompt every time, but you can see just the power of what is possible if you use these prompts to start out, right? So now it's going to go and it's going to continue to do this until it's done, until we're done. So we can literally use it as like a marketing business, assistant, strategist all in one here for free with the right tools, right? With the right prompts. Now, I had another prompt that I want to show you, which is another focused structured prompt. I'm going to start a new chat and I'm going to create through this new prompt. So this other prompt, because we're not just doing social media, let's say we're going to be doing email marketing and things like that. So we also have a prompt here that I created as an example, which is for email marketing strategist and direct sales coach. So acting, focusing on that role, right? We're now going to do email marketing. And then we're going to be focusing on nurturing leads and converting them into engaged business partners, right? So let's say you're starting to develop and we're going to be having all these amazing tools with Grow that you're going to be able to capture leads. You're going to be able to have your own email, you're going to start your own doing emails and things like this. This is how you can go about using ChatGPT to help you write emails. And instead of just help me write an email about my business, we can actually create an entire campaign, right? Look, I want to create a compelling 5 email series for people who signed up, right? So people who are interested in my business, they signed up for something with me or they've given me their email or something. And the goal is to educate, build excitement, address common objections, right? Because we know in this business, people will have, oh, I don't have time or I don't have the money or I don't, whatever those objections are, it would be even better if we put the objections in there, right? And encourage them to take action. Again, so I'm telling it again because that I'm a Firmaglow business partner, right? Technically, since I've already told them in another chat, and it added it to memory, it probably already knows that. But I'm doing it again just so that anybody who's picking up any prompt in the entire prompt library would still get a quality result. Okay. So some of these things you can start to cut corners and simplify things once you started with a good base, right? So it's going to go through here. It's giving us that context, that goal, and that context and that background, right? It's giving us an example, right? I wrote out an example, right, of welcome and what to expect, right? So then I've given it step by step, outline a general idea for each email. That's the first thing that I want to do because I don't want them to write me 5 emails. If they write me 5 emails, I'm going to be overwhelmed. I'm going to be overwhelmed, and I'm probably not going to like, I'm probably not going to like number three, four, and five because I didn't like number one or two. So it's aspects of it. So I wanted to just give me the idea first, right? Don't go and do all the stuff. Just give me the idea first, right? Then I wanted to write the body copy. So then I'm going to read each of them. Then I want to look at subject line options and pretext options. Why am I doing that? Some people might want to do subject line first. I like to do subject line second because I want to mess around with the body first. And sometimes ideas for the subject line come up, right? So then if I break it down in these steps, I can even say, okay, there's this line right here that you had in the body cop is a great idea for a subject line, or this is a great idea for a social media post. And you can go off and do that, right? And then the number four is give design directions and image suggestions, right? ChatGPT can even create images for us. And there's some other tools that can create amazing images for us as well. But what we're going to do here is I just want the design direction because maybe it's going to help either if I'm designing, it's going to help me with ideas, or maybe your businesses are doing so well, you're bringing on assistants and you're bringing on people to help you. It will already just write the direction for you, right? That's exciting. And again, we have to write this part here. Take each step. one step at a time and move on only once I've approved the first step. Okay, let's see how ChatGPT does here. So is everybody following a little bit the focus method? Are you excited? You with me? You lost? Let me know in the chat. Okay, everybody's awesome. You're all excited. Very cool. Okay, are you seeing how you're going to be able to use this in your business? Okay, Tracy, it's okay. I know it's a lot of information. I know you're saying it's a little overwhelming, but you know what? The coolest thing about this is that if you just start chatting, you can even ask ChatGPT, how could I make this better prompt? What other information could you need so that I can get a better result? Or I like to even ask sometimes ChatGPT, I'll say, ask me any questions you need to get a better result. So if you're Tracy, if you're sitting in front of your computer like, okay, how do I start this? You could say, ChatGPT, help me come up with some social media posts for my business, but ask me any questions you might need to make sure that we have good posts or these are good ideas, right? So that way you're even letting ChatGPT help you. And the coolest thing is you have everything for anybody who's overwhelmed at any point. All of this is here for you. And you can go in your PDF and you can copy and paste any of these prompts and just throw them into ChatGPT, delete the stuff that's in yellow, write your own stuff that's in yellow, and you will get an awesome result. Okay. So you're doing great. You're doing great. All right, everybody. So
So
let's check
Kathleen,
out our emails. Yes.
I know you're doing your flow is amazing. I just want to point out one thing, especially for people that are overwhelmed, especially with technology. I want to go back to the
Yes.
workbook that you created for us. You guys just take 2 or 3 pages out of it every single day over the next
Yes.
7 days. That'll get you through most of the workbook and apply these principles that she's just taught today. So I just wanted to reiterate that. Kathleen, go right ahead.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. That's a great way to do it. You can take these pages, print them out, write notes, and then this prompt alone, this really fun brand prompt, which is the first prompt that you really get into in the workbook, is ad libs. Just think about it like ad libs. Fill in the blanks and then start to play. And you're going to learn so much. You actually learn a lot about yourself in this process too. It's pretty cool what ChatGPT can come up with. But you're going to learn a lot in iteration. That's the only way to learn is to iterate and to just take it bite by bite. So awesome. Okay, so we have here, I'm going to go back to our email series and then we're going to get to questions pretty soon. Okay, so our email series, we have welcome and what to expect, right? So, okay, cool. Warmly welcome, lead, introduce yourself. All right, email number 2, why Firmaglow? The opportunity innovation. So here, you know what? It did an okay idea. It did an okay job, but look, it even said, "Is this the pyramid scheme where no is a not good spelling?" But it's actually addressing what people would be potentially concerned about. Yeah. So here it says, key message. We hear your questions and we've got your answers, and this is what we'll do to address those objections, right? That we've got answers that will change how you see the opportunity. So here it's done a pretty good job. And here it's take time to join us. Now we could say, you know what? I feel like it's too formulaic. You can say, I want to change it up, right? I want each email to have a little bit more, to be a little more combined with the other ideas. So it's not so stand alone, especially look, you can even spell incorrectly in ChatGPT, we'll figure it out. With the common concerns, I want that woven into all the emails, right? So that, and again, you may think this is perfect. You're like, okay, this is cool. I want to go on to the next one. But I'm just showing you how I might iterate something, right? So it's going to go through. And if it's writing something and it's totally wrong sometimes, if you want to, you can just hit stop, right? And right now it's thinking about it. So the other thing that we could do as it's writing, we could say, okay, we know that it's going to go, let's see, there we go. Got it, revised. So here it's starting to acknowledge skepticism right at the beginning, the first email, right? Because we know that we might want to have objections and concerns addressed on all of our emails, right? So this is a really cool. So we're saying, okay, this is really good. I like this. Now it's even asking me, does this feel look like it's more in line? Because it kind of just is like talking. So then we can just say, yep, next. So now it should start to write the body of the email for us. So let's see, is it writing? Okay, it's even given us our subject lines. So it didn't go exactly in order, but that's okay. So here it started to write all of our subject lines and our body copy here. And let's see, is this good? So we go through and we would actually say, okay, do we like this? And look, it's even waiting to say to go into the next one, which is good, our welcome email. So we could say, give me 25 more subject lines. This is how we could iterate, right? But we can just keep going on to next. So we could go and it will write our entire email series, right? We can even say, I'm going to just show you for time's sake. Let's say, go on to step 4. Okay. So let's see, design direction. See, it even knows, right? Step 4. So look, it's going to give us exactly the design direction that it's looking at. It's saying, okay, this is what we could give this to a designer just like that, right? Use bullet points and emojis sparingly to break up text. So look, it's given us design direction for all of the emails. Pretty amazing, right? Okay, so now you can see the powers of the prompts and what you can do if you really sit down and spend the time. And I think we are at our Q&A section. So I think we had a few hands up earlier. I just wanted to power through this because I know we didn't have a lot of time, but I have probably 5 minutes for questions, and then I have our fun stuff I wanted to show you at the end. So I see a question here from Allie that says, with the brand prompt, do we do the one thing at the end? So, Allie, I'm not sure. Let's look at the brand prompt together. I'm not quite sure if I understand what you mean. So, you don't, oh, one step at a time. So, no, you know what? So, for the brand prompt, you don't have to do one step at a time because what you're asking it to do is this is a context prompt, right? So, in our library, we have our context and background prompts. So what we're doing is we're filling this in, and then I would add this to the beginning of my chats to give the context for that chat of who I am and all of my background. So this one isn't broken out into step by step, and you're really not asking ChatGPT for anything with this prompt. All of the context prompts are just that. And it says that right here. It's like this is really just the following prompts don't have questions, right? Or tasks. They're just here for context to start a new conversation, right? So, same thing with our hair care product line. So, the hair care product line, there's no questions here. It's just giving it background because otherwise, ChatGPT is sometimes so aimed to please that it will make stuff up, and we don't want it to do that, right? Here's another one about the business opportunity, right? Again, we don't want ChatGPT to make up stuff that isn't true. So, we have these as context prompts. So that one you don't have to do the step by step. What if you wanted to improve it, right? Or if you wanted to work on it, what you can do is that you could fill in all of this and you could say, ask me additional questions you need to help understand my brand. So, okay. Now, okay. I have some other questions. Okay. What's the difference in the models you showed us in the drop down? Adam, great question. Okay. So, really, there's a few different things. So, first is ChatGPT, every time it updates a new model, it gives it a new name. So, we used to be on like ChatGPT 3, 3.5. Now, everyone's getting access to 4 for the most part. Yeah. And let's see. I have to go here. And then what you're also O3 Mini is for advanced reasoning, right? So what's really cool, and I suggest you start to play with, it's really good for like if you're going to do advanced coding work. It actually will go through a process of like communicating with different aspects of its own AI, for lack of a better term. It will say, it will take things step by step and it will show you where it is in the process. So I highly recommend playing with it. But the difference between the mini and the O's, like the ChatGPT 4o or O3 mini, is the amount of space, like the amount of memory basically that it's using, the amount of space that it's taking, because these models take a lot of energy to run. So these mini models are just for faster responses. And it's probably one of the reasons why I was getting a slower response today, because I was using 4o versus like using a mini for some of these faster tasks. So definitely play around with them. For the most part, most people are going to be using 4o. Okay, Melissa, can we do this on our phone or just our computer? Amazing question, Melissa. Okay. I have ChatGPT here on my phone, and you can use it on your phone. There's a free app. There's some other apps. If it's asking you to pay, it's not the right app. Okay. In the iOS store, it's white with the black text, and I can use it right here. I can chat with it right here on my phone. I can type, I can voice text, I can have a voice conversation with it. Let's see. It's thinking about it, probably because it's wanting to connect to my headphones. But you can actually even show it, because I have the advanced version, so you can show it video of your space, of your refrigerator. There's so many incredible things you can do. But yes, you can do it all on your phone too. The reason I like to do it on the computer for this session is because sometimes we're copying and pasting, and I think it's just a lot easier to work on a computer when you're learning something like this. So, okay, my friends who are still saying I'm lost, I have to go through this several times again to understand. You are totally in the right place, and I want to commend anyone who's feeling like that for sticking with it, for being here, for trying it. And again, just start somewhere. Just start texting with it like a friend. That's actually, you're jumping ahead a little bit, because one of my takeaways, my steps for success is to just start having conversations. And if you don't know what to do, ask ChatGPT what to do. That's the amazing thing, right? Like, it's like, ChatGPT, I don't know how to promote my business. How can you help me? And it will literally tell you how it can help you. And then maybe you'll get one little idea of how, oh, maybe I could give an example. Maybe I could use an example, and that will give you a much better response. So even if you just get 10%, 5% of what we talked about today, as long as you start doing the actual work of trying to start working with the tools, you're going to be light years ahead. So those are the things that you need to do to get yourself over that hump of feeling overwhelmed, because you're already doing it and you stayed the whole time. So you're doing great. Thanks for sticking with it. Okay. Awesome. You all are going to learn together. I love that attitude. I can see this culture that you're creating here with the Firmaglow team. People in the chat are all saying, "Don't worry, I'm going to help you." So you can take that prompt workbook, which is created to help you through the next months to come, right? Anytime you're like, "Hey, I want to work on this a little bit. I want to learn a little bit more about my business." It's the whole this workshop is created so that if someone's using ChatGPT every day, or someone has never used ChatGPT, I want everybody to get something from it. So there are aspects which are a little bit more advanced, right? But that's by nature, because there's some people who are using this every day. So they have to get their little nugget too. So, all right, this is awesome. Okay, now I have a few more things for you in just a few minutes, okay? So let's see, we're gonna go here. All right. Can you see my screen? I think you can see the whole thing now. Let's see. I have a few little things to show you. Okay, now there is more that you can do with AI. There are so many awesome tools, right? I have a list of tools for you. These are all in your workbook, okay? And there's links to every single one of these tools and why I love them. There's literally a section, and It's just like I'm talking to you here as if I was sitting in your living room, and it says, here are my favorite AI tools for writing. What does it do and why do I love it? And here's a link to it, right? So I've actually created this entire section here that tells you all about my favorite tools. And they're always changing and they're always doing different things. So my favorite tools for image generation is Canva. It can actually generate images for you. It can generate an image of almost anything you'd like. Midjourney is a little bit more advanced. But you can have a lot of control over your images, and ChatGPT can create images for us. Here, let's see. Of a woman with beautiful hair on the beach in a kimono. Let's see. Okay, we're going to let it come up with a picture. And I have no idea what it's going to come up with. But look, just by this is we're still on a free account, but it's giving us use of, look, wow. Now this image clearly you can tell it's still AI, but this is still pretty cool, right? So I like to do this for like you creating backgrounds and things like that. And AIs can continue to get better and better. You can actually even take pictures of products and it can superimpose different backgrounds. These are all a little bit more advanced things, but I just want to show you, look, I literally, for those who've not seen this, I did one little text and that's what it came up with. Pretty cool. So that's one of my favorite tools for image generation. I have some favorite tools for audio, right? So I have 11 Labs, which allows you to clone your voice. So let me show you. So I actually have cloned my voice, and you might not be able to hear it. And I typed this message that says, "Hi, Firmaglobe," right? Here, let's see. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but I'm going to share my audio right now and you can hear it. Now, these are all in your workbook. Let's
Hi,
see.
Firmaglow business partners. So excited to be helping you learn and use AI in your business. Hi, Firmaglow business partners. So excited to be.
I never said that, but I used AI. I mean, I wrote it. I had permission to use my own voice, but I actually cloned my voice. Now you're saying, like, okay, Kathleen, that's cool. How in the world would you use this? Well, you can use this in a as a an audio on Instagram, right? I can download this and I can write, you know how people do inspirational audio sometimes on Instagram about like, how their life has changed because of a business or anything, right? Just behind the background and they use beautiful images or pictures of their daily life. We call it B-roll. You could create your own script here. Even if you didn't feel like talking that day, you could have your assistant one day who's helping you write things on your behalf and create your own audios, right? Now, I'm going to leave you this one thing because I'm at 1 minute over. I created a song for us. Okay. I create lots of songs for myself because I just love it. I create my own like hype songs. I'm a little dorky and I like really, and like, I like to create like inspirational songs for myself to hype myself up or to help me get through whatever I'm going through. And I create songs for my friends and stuff, but I made a Firmaglow song. So what I did was I created this through this company, Suno. Again, it's free. I created with 200 characters, a little song for us that I'm going to play. And the cool thing is like again, Kathleen, how would I use this? Well, actually on social media, there are already lots of trending sounds that were actually made with AI. So if you guys ready to hear your song? Okay, let's hear our song. I'm gonna pull it up. It's called Ready, Set, Glow.
Joining hands, we're forging futures in this story yet untold. Ready, set, glow. The light is shining bright. Calling all you glow-getters. Let's chase it through the night. We stand on fear.
In a town where dreams are born underneath the morning skies, Firmaglow is calling out to all the ones who dare to try.
That's cool, right? There's two different songs. I did a country song, I did a pop song, so all this stuff is here at our fingertips, and most of it's free to use. So, if you're just starting out, There's so many tools that you can play with. I say start with ChatGPT. If you're starting to want to get into advanced things, you liked the cloning from 11 Labs, you liked Suno, you liked the image generators, play with those. I have a whole other list of AI video tools that I really like. Again, and you're saying, wait, I know about CapCut. Why that tool has AI? It does. You can do AI translation for into subtitles for two different languages. Another company that you can do really cool stuff is called Hey Gen. I actually created, I haven't even seen this yet. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know if you could hear that. Probably not because AI sometimes does the silly thing. But what it did was it actually had my voice again. It had my voice saying and video saying,
Hi, Firmaglow business partners. Check out this cool AI tool, HeyGen.
so you can see what's possible. Like I actually never even, this tool right here, I just uploaded another video of me. I'm not even saying that. I just uploaded this video of
Check
me
them.
a long time ago, created an avatar, and then I put in the words of what I wanted it to say. It said,
Yes,
"Hey,
he called me
Firmaglow
this
business
morning
partner."
and I told him
Oh,
exactly what I needed from him. He was
okay. And so here we had exactly what I wrote in the chat. So with that, all of these tools are here in your workbook for you. I want to leave you with these things. What's next? Just start using ChatGPT, right? That's all you need to do. And start using the focus method if you're already using it. And I want to hear from you guys. I want to know all the great stuff that's coming out when you start to use this stuff. Number two, use your workbook. Like Tony said, break it up into a couple pages, start playing with it ongoing, start to use it as new ideas come up, start to go to your workbook and say, hey, what's a way that I could use this idea? Maybe there's something in my workbook there for me. And number three, then you can go to my favorite part, which is all my favorite tools all the way down at the bottom, Kathleen's favorite AI tools. You have access to all of those tools and you can start to play with other tools. And so I always say, don't fear the future, create it. Thank you all so much. I would love to connect with you. I'm so grateful for your time and your attention, and I can't wait to see what you create with AI out in the world.
Oh my gosh. So Kathleen, this was so awesome. I am so glad that we reconnected and that you're helping us with all of this. Definitely want for you to bring updates maybe every quarter, whenever, it seems to make sense or what have you. But this was absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you liked it. I see everyone's chats. That means so
Yeah.
much to me.
So here's
That's
another call to
wonderful.
action. You had mentioned just start. So you guys, I want you just to take away two or the three things that spoke to you today. Start implementing them into your messaging, into your social media, into how you're going to communicate. Now, we will already have all of the, email and text and everything already done for you, but you've got to do it also on your own. Play around with it. Send us an email to bp@firmaglow.com and let us know how it's working for you, because we definitely want to use the testimonials and I definitely want to pass them on to Kathleen as well. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, my friend, for your time today and all of this wonderful information. Remember, print out your workbook, use it as a guide, get a 3-ring, be a binder, king or queen, get a 3-ring binder and use this as a reference for sure. Kathleen, you're amazing. I love you, sister. Thank you, everyone, for being on. Thank you for your time. But utilize the time that you spent to invest in learning today and take your business to the next level. All right,
Thank you,
you guys, take care.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.